Let's get straight into the verses on this one before I lose the will to live. Genesis chapter 2, 7 through 14, 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. 8. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. 9. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight, and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. 10. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. 11. The name of the first is Pison, that is it, which compasseth the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. 12. And the gold of that land is good, there is bdellium and the onyx stone. 13. And the name of the second river is Gihon, the same is it that compasseth the whole land of Ethiopia. 14. And the name of the third river is Hiddekel, that is it which goeth toward the east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. Click like and subscribe to join me while I expose the claims of the Bible, and then together we can make it better.
My.
Come fly away with the fairies and unicorns. Verse 7 is one of the weakest passages in the whole Bible. It is nothing short of utter bollocks. God creates a mud golem with magic from crushed rocks and decayed vegetable matter, and theists have the gall to say evolution is false, while conflating evolution with abiogenesis, and claiming science is a religion. Not only that, they also claim that scientific theory states man evolved from a rock through sorcery.
It's a mental illness for a grown person to believe they came from a rock, which came from a dot of nothing exploding.
They don't just believe that life evolved, they believe that rocks evolved.
People like this are simply morons. If the Bible said 3 plus 3 equals 7, they would do everything possible to make it fit their narrative while gaslighting everyone else. Isn't it funny how these straw man attacks mirror almost identically the same claim as the Bible? So, what is the difference between rock or a handful of dirt? The answer: the lies that the religious must commit to justify this delusional fantasy, asserting they have 100% knowledge of the origin of man via the errant words of a Dark Age manuscript. Science has carried out tons of abiogenetic research and has made great progress in this area, but proven it is not. Just like the heliocentric model, it may take time to solve, but the solution will be inevitable, as another of God's gaps dissolves into mythology. We must remember, at the time of first life on Earth, the environment was dramatically different from today, a chemist's playground. We only exist now as we do, because life has utterly changed the face of the planet. So, the garden god creates a little paradise all of his own, a cage to house his pet person, with every type of pretty tree and plant good for food, much like a biosphere holding all varieties of foliage, much like an Eden project. However located in the area of Mesopotamia, a normal garden is going to struggle to grow most of the world's greens. Then we get 2 mystery trees conspicuously placed in the middle of the garden. Oh, this is starting to feel like an experiment. No, not an experiment. Why would an omniscient being run an experiment? Let's call it a trap. Like a little boy with a magnifying glass hovering over an ant's nest on a sunny day, knowing exactly what will happen when the sun strikes these poor animals. Yep, that about captures the feel. Like roundabouts in Milton Keynes, we head straight into another biblical contradiction. What is this river that can't possibly feed the 4 major tributaries mentioned? John Calvin and many others tried to resolve this issue in an attempt to locate Eden. But 2 rivers don't exist or have vanished without geology. The only place the Tigris and Euphrates joins is downstream, which is 100% contrary to the Bible's description. In this mythology, I personally believe the Garden of Eden is the cultural appropriation of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Again, we look to the reign over the Hebrew people by Nebuchadnezzar. This hypothesis makes perfect sense if you consider the architecture involved in groundworking this seventh wonder. Perhaps 4 rivers were created to feed this bio-ziggurat between the Tigris and Euphrates. It is also mentioned that many beautiful plants and trees were brought from distant lands. The Pison and the Gihon, as told in the Bible, bear zero relation or proximity to this 4-headed river. Ethiopia in a straight line is over 2,500 kilometers from the joining of the 2 other rivers. The geography simply adds nothing to make this text credible. The new book of Genesis, chapter 2, 7 through 14, 7. Through millions of years of evolution, early humans emerged, their bodies composed of the same elements found in Earth's crust, the same as all life based on oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. Over enormous amounts of time, complex biological processes led to the development of self-sustaining organisms. 8. In ancient Mesopotamia, a marvel of engineering known as the Hanging Gardens flourished. While its exact location remains debated, it's believed to have been built near Babylon. This sophisticated system of terraces and waterways nurtured a diverse array of plants, creating a flourishing oasis. 9. The Hanging Gardens boasted a variety of plants, both visually appealing and providing sustenance. However, the concept of a tree of life, or tree of knowledge, are symbolic representations of humans' choice and should not be taken as a literal interpretation. 10. An ingenious irrigation system, likely using a network of canals and pumps, drew water from the Euphrates River to nourish the Hanging Gardens. This technology allowed for a variety of plant life to thrive in an otherwise arid environment. 11 through 14. The specific rivers mentioned, Pison, Gihon, Hiddekel, Euphrates, are vague but give enough reference to place it in modern-day Iraq, but their connection to the Hanging Gardens is unclear. The descriptions of the surrounding lands, Havilah, Ethiopia, Assyria, might be references to trade routes or the origin of some of the plants cultivated in the gardens. Please don't believe everything you read, or you may turn into one of these mentally challenged minions. If you like this video, you may also like this.